Welcome to this week's edition of Sidelines. I'm Jimmy Johnson. The start of the women's lacrosse season is less than 2 weeks away, and the defending Patriot League champions are hard at work preparing. NavySports.com took a moment to interview Coach Cindy Timchal at practice, and here's what she had to say.
NavySports.com here with head women's lacrosse coach Cindy Timchal. Cindy, the team has been practicing for about 2 weeks now. Talk a little bit about the progress that you've seen out of the team so far this season.
You know, we feel that in 2011, coming back in early January, we're doing a great job. As you can tell, it's been pretty nice weather out here on the turf right by the Severn River, and with that, the team came back with a whole lot of good energy. We've been practicing hard. We've been having fun, but most importantly, we've just been getting better every single practice.
You've had a lot of experience defending championships in your coaching career. Coming off the Patriot League championship, talk a little bit about what kind of mindset you want the team in as they go on to defend their Patriot League title.
The key for us is to really acknowledge and recognize that the 2011 team hasn't really accomplished anything yet. And, you know, what's important when you want to play for a Patriot League championship is that you know that it's a journey that starts from the very first day that we started practice back in the fall and now back out here in January in 2011. And what the biggest focus for our team is just to take one practice and one game at a time. And, you know, really we want to go out and show each team that we play how tough and strong and how determined we are in 2011, just to reflect the success we had in 2010.
The season starts in about 3 weeks on February 11th against Mount St. Mary's. What are some things you're going to be looking for the team to accomplish for the rest of this preseason before the start of the game?
Well, right now, the key in this part of our segment and leading up to our first home opener against Mount St. Mary is to make sure that our skills are solid, that all of our, you know, in terms of our offense, we really feel good about all of our sets, our defensive changes, you know, our draws, all the special pieces that go into being a successful program. So, you know, we want to put everything together. We know that even when we start our first game that we're not going to be where we want to be by the end of the season, but certainly we feel we have the great foundation right now building up to knowing that the most important game of our whole entire season really starts off, as you said, on February 11th against Mount St. Mary's.
Thank you very much. NavySports.com here with women's lacrosse captain Caitlin Mandrin Hill. Caitlin, the team's been practicing for about 2 weeks. Talk a little bit about the progress the team has made so far this preseason.
Well, coming from the fall definitely was a lot of learning experiences, and being back is everyone's game has risen up. We worked hard over our Christmas breaks, working out, and I think everyone's come back super strong and ready to play, and we know how big this season's going to be for us. So we're all on the same page and working towards our new goal of another Patriot League championship.
You guys lost a few key players from last year, but you have a lot of newcomers and a lot of younger players getting ready to step into bigger roles. Talk a little bit about the transition that you've seen for some of these players.
I mean, coming in as a freshman, definitely, I know a lot of the girls were a little intimidated at first, but talking with them and just, you know, during the fall, they've all stepped up their game. There's no intimidation factor anymore, and they're stepping in the roles phenomenally, and they're working harder to get better every single day. And it's always a new challenge for them. They're looking for the next step, and they know at what each senior, what all of us expect of them, what the coaches expect of them, and they're doing a phenomenal job. I couldn't expect anything more of them.
Coming off the Patriot League championship in 2010, what are some of the keys for the team to stay focused and stay hungry to repeat again?
I mean, it's a whole new season. That's what we have to remember. Every team is vying for the championship. Every team wants to make it to the tournament. And we just have to remember that no matter what our success was last year, it's a whole new game. And that every team has a whole new play that they're going to bring to the table too. And we have to be ready to match that and beat it.
We will have the 2011 preseason poll for women's lacrosse next Thursday, so be sure to watch next week's episode of Sidelines. That wasn't an order, but if it were coming from our next featured student athlete, you might feel like it was one. Nate Hedgecock is the second highest ranking cadet at West Point, and he's also a member of the men's basketball team, which pulled off a 90-70 upset over first place Bucknell last Saturday. Army's Rick Johnston met up with the West Point senior to find out what it's like to be in charge of nearly 4,000 cadets. Here's the story.
Leadership is a common thread that connects all cadets at West Point. Senior Nate Hedgecock displays leadership not just on the court with the men's basketball team, but in front of the entire corps of cadets. Hedgecock is the Deputy Brigade Commander, second highest ranking position in the Corps. He says he had to explain his leadership philosophy to a board of senior level officers before being named to the position.
To get to that point where you're nominated to go to those boards, it's just a lot of hard work, and it's all about just trying to do well and just do the best you can. You don't necessarily have to be the best and the brightest academically, but just showing leadership in your company and stuff like that can get you up there as well.
At the end of his sophomore year, Hedgecock was nominated by his tactical officer to go in front of those boards. Before accepting the nomination, he had to decide if he could balance this new opportunity with his commitment to the basketball team.
Given the fact that my tactical officer gave it to me and he had enough faith in me, I said, you know what, this is something I need to do my best in, just like everything else that I do. I just look at it and I say, hey, I need to do my best. I need to put my best foot forward.
After going in front of 3 boards, Hedgecock found out this summer that he would become the Deputy Brigade Commander, and he got to share that moment with his teammates during their summer training camp.
The brigade tactical officer, who's like one of the head officers in charge, came in. We were toward the end of practice. We had just finished playing games, playing pickup. He kind of huddled us around, and he was like, hey, I just want to let you guys, and I didn't know yet, and like nobody knew. There was still a lot of like who's going to be where amongst like the top cadets. And he came in and he was like, hey, I just want to let you know in front of his teammates that Nate's going to be the Deputy Brigade Commander, second in charge of the Corps, and it was an awesome experience, and I think the setting couldn't have been better. I mean, with my teammates, the guys I love, the guys I play with, and I do all this for them to see like, hey, he's going to get the slot. So it was awesome.
Head coach Zach Spiker says Hedgecock has been able to apply what he's learned leading his fellow cadets to the court this season.
Well, I think he's been in some leadership experiences and some different roles down there that probably do equate to some scenarios here, not all, but some. And he's done a good job adapting those situations to an athletic environment and uses them in a good job. I think the guys respect him for that.
When asked to describe Hedgecock, Spiker paints the picture of a leader.
The first word that comes to my mind is competitor, and someone who wants to have success in everything he's doing, whether it's on the court with his teammates or if it's in a classroom setting here at the academy. Nate competes, and he doesn't compete just to say he competes to win, and that's a great quality to have.
Leading the Corps of Cadets is a big responsibility, but according to Hedgecock, it's not his biggest.
It's a lot of pressure, but playing basketball is more pressure. It gives more pressure situations. Leading 15 or 21 guys is sometimes a little bit harder than leading 4,000, believe it or not.
Hedgecock says he takes pride in being someone his teammates can look to for advice both on and off the court. With the Army men's basketball team, Rick Johnston, ITT Night Vision.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you everyone who took the time out to watch this week's edition of Sidelines. The Winter Championship season is looming, so be sure to keep watching for all the previews and features we will have over the next month. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up to date with all the latest news. We'll see you again next week.